Okay, am I live? I hope I'm live. Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure if it's live. Hello, hello Amir. Okay, hello Rob, hello Zayden, hello Kavarik, hey Bobby. Okay. Good deal, good, good, good. I'm alive then, that's good. Cool, cool. Hey Fafim, how's it going? Hey Crescent Doll. Hey Doggo Gods. Hey Ben. Hey Darok. Hey Jax. How's it going, man? How you guys all doing? Thanks for showing up. Hey Ben, how you doing, man? Aloha. Hey Venomex. Thank you very much, Amir. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. Hey Nasal Penny. Yeah, it's good to see you too. Fantastic. So I don't really have anything planned. Yep, I'm a Leo. Yep. Hey Venomex. Yeah, that's right. Yep, yep, yep. So like I said, I didn't really have much of a plan. Yeah, and I'm doing well, Ben. I think I have the typical stuff like the brush and the jar with the chopstick and the like. So I might just do some of that. I don't think I'm going to do any gameplay, and I'm only going to go for an hour actually, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to click this off because I'm just going to go just for an hour. Yeah, and I realize that's a bit of a short thing, but that's yeah. And thanks, Ben Larson. Thank you. I'm glad I could help him here. Thank you for the compliment. We don't need plans where we're going right on. Well, and yeah, I might get a little wandery because I did indulge in some cannabis earlier today, so I'm a little to do. Okay, you know what I mean. So I thought about doing a sort of like a getting Doug with high thing, like Doug Benson used to do, but I went and looked it up, and YouTube has changed its rules, and you can't do that anymore. There's no more getting stoned live on air. So, oopsie daisy. So I'm glad I checked before I decided to do it, because I wouldn't want to get shut down because of something like that. But tell us about life and what we need to do in our loneliness. Well, oh man, that's pretty heavy. Let me think about that for a minute, Amir. Hey, Collie, thank you. The bottle tapping. Oh, right. Where is that jar? You know what? I have that one here. I think you mean this one here, right? Cremation. That's funny, MSC. Hey, thanks, Brian. It's actually okay to, just be sort of chilling out, taking a minute, having a bit of a birthday. And as far as going back to the question about loneliness, Amir, I don't know, just try to hang out with other people. I mean, I guess that's kind of the half-stoned, silly answer, but that's the best I can do for now. Thanks, Costa. I play right-handed guitar. I think this is why I do that this way, because this is you use your right hand for attack if you play guitar right-handed, right? You use your left hand for fingering the notes, but this is, what instigates attack. So I think it's, I usually use a pick though. I used to do finger picking way back when, but I gave it up, and I'm like almost like 98 or 99%. I don't do anything with my fingers other than just a pick. And I usually play a fairly heavy pick. Oh, actually, where is what? So some of you will have already seen this, but I use two different types of picks. So I use this fairly thin one just for specific type of rhythm things. When you want to get that, it gives you a little bit more of a kind of a flan kind of a sound. And then otherwise, though, I like to use this these heavy picks because I feel like I can get better attack and I can control my dynamics better. So that's that. Okay, hang on. So if I got one for you, could I send it to you? I don't know what you mean, Ben. I don't do song covers, Amir, but I do have a music channel. It's called Three Monks in a Tub. I only play my own music, whether I'm playing guitar. There's like one song, a piano on there, and whatever. But yeah, I sound so different when I'm zonked. Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me. Random guitar question. What are your thoughts on Les Pauls versus Strat? SG player. I like Les Pauls because there's some things I like about the tone of it, and obviously having the shorter scale length, because I play a Rickenbacker and it also has the shorter scale length. And the older Les Pauls with they're 12-inch, I guess, for the radius, which is a little bit flatter. The Rickenbacker I have plays a 10, and so that's closer to a Strat radius. I like different things about both of them, but my main guitar of choice is my Rickenbacker, and the only other guitar I have currently is my EVH Wolfgang, which is just a Indonesian one, so it's not anything super fancy, but it's got the maple, and it's a 12 to 16 compound radius. I really like that. That's kind of a nice thing. It's the first guitar I've ever had with that. But it's humbuckers. Well, it's a super Strat, isn't it? Right? It's that's Eddie Van Halen's thing, right? Is to take a Strat and turn it into something better, or better in his mind anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I never owned an SG. I had a really good friend of mine that had one that I borrowed for a minute just so I could see it. The only thing is I felt that there's a bit of a the head dive kind of thing that kind of, I don't know. But I like the action. I like that it was not as deep as the Les Paul. But anyway, yeah. Wait, hang on. So let me try to catch up with that. Thanks, Fisher. I appreciate that. Yeah, the knowledge you'll grow out of it. Thanks. Yeah. Oh man. Well, Ben, that's super, super generous, and I guess I just feel like that's over the top sort of gift, man. That just seems like crazy, crazy. Send me an email to we can talk about that. I think you can get the email off my channel. I think it's just bill.maxvoxpax@gmail.com, but I think it's on the channel. Or you could message me from the Facebook page too. Either way is a good way to message me. But I don't know, man. That just seems like over the top generous, man. That makes me uncomfortable. And I don't know. I hate to seem like I'm ungrateful or whatever, but it's just like that's Anyway, sorry if I'm overreacting in a weird way, but yikes. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, yeah. Yeah. I love the Rickenbacker. It's like it's got a skinny, shallow neck with that 10-inch radius. A lot of people don't like it because they feel like they get closed in, like it's too tight. But I really like it. I feel like I can reach things really well. And it's like, yeah, I just really, really love it. Playing tech support for your mom, right on. Here I'm gonna get the because the way I have the camera placed is it's right kind of in part, wait, so I'm going to use the dock off of OBS instead. All right, so let me get caught up here. All right, where am I at now? And yeah, 12-string Rickenbackers are nice. I don't own one, but I have a 620, which is a solid buddy. Thanks, Goel. Or is that Go-I? It looks like an I at the end. Sorry, at first I thought it was an L. Did I have any cake today? Yes, I did have cake, Benjamin. I had chocolate cake. I actually had cake this morning. I got up and I spent some time with my friend and his wife and daughter that live in Chester, and because she's 10, I guess now, and anyway, so we had a long distance birthday party for me, and she even put stuff up in their living room, or not their living room, but the room that they use to where the computer is. And I put like a banner across the back wall, and that said "Happy Birthday, Bill" with a big 60 and some balloons and stuff. It was pretty amazing and cool. And so I bought myself some cake a slice of cake from the bakery at the grocery store, and I had that, and they had a cake, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun. So I had cake this morning. So that was my breakfast, was chocolate cake. Okay, hang on. Quan has a good question here I have to read. No, MaxVoxPax is just, I made it up. I'm not sure. We talked about that in, I don't remember which live stream it was, but it was a fairly recent live stream. And it's sort of a screw up of Latin, of Max for maximum, obviously. Vox is voice, and Pax is peace. So it's like most peaceful voice, but I screwed around with the word order because I wanted it to sound cool. You know what I mean? And so my name is Bill. I think of it as Bill, and then the channel's name is MaxVoxPax. And I kind of just squoze them together, I guess, because I don't know. I thought it sounded nice. You know, that's really it. Nope. I'm sorry, Rob. It's only going for another 49 minutes, man. So the sun comes up. Yeah, cake. I want more cake. And I like cake, especially chocolate cake. And it was one of those ones that's like multi-layer. It's not just like a 2-layer cake. It's like got a bunch of layers to it, and it was nice. Yippee-yi-yay, I like it. Man, a Gulf Stream, that's crazy. Holy mackerel. I have no idea what one of those even costs, man. That's just nuts. Yeah, there is, Rob, there is. Oh man, I'm going to totally screw up the thing that QWERTY UI slad sandwich. I'm going to get up the brush, and I'm going to brush on the microphone just because. Thanks, Kyle. Venomex, I don't have a memory not experiencing ASMR. I think I've had it my entire life. People's voices, especially adults' voices. Actually, not my parents. I was going to say my parents, but actually not my parents. My kindergarten teacher, I think that's part of the reason I liked her so much, is that she triggered my ASMR with her voice, because she was a very sort of gentle human. Her name was Miss Mason, and I was in love with her. I mean, I was just like, man, I just so smitten with her. It was crazy. My mom got the school district to let me change schools because she was a young teacher and she ended up shifting schools during the school year, and it upset me so much. And so when my mom got it so that they would let me change schools to follow her, right? That's how smitten I was with her, and I was so insistent about it. And man, okay, I'm missing some comments here. 78 million. Wow, that's crazy, man. I can tell you my last name now if you want, Quan. It's Poshman. If you go to my vlog channel is WC Poshman. That's my name is William Charles Poshman. I've never been secretive about my name. I mean, it's not that hard to find that kind of stuff out about somebody, you know. But yeah, Dylan, I'm here. Thanks for coming by, man. My favorite trigger. Well, it's a female's voice, and it depends on where I'm at psychologically. Whether it's a whisper, like if it's a whisper, I like it where it's really close up. You know what I mean? Otherwise, soft spoken can be kind of just anywhere. You know what I mean? But yeah, but a female voice is the most reliable trigger for me. Otherwise, intermittently, you know, some visual stuff like soft touches type stuff. And I'm certain that that's to do with our, you know, our, what do they call it? Is it the parasympathetic nervous system? It's where you see something and you can watch somebody else go through pain and you know, feel it on their behalf kind of thing. I'm pretty sure that a lot of that stuff is what's at play when we're doing the ASMR thing. At least for those types of triggers like this. Like I'm thinking of ASMRvelous. I think she's the master of doing soft touches. But anyway, let me see. I'm getting behind on that. Okay. Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Rational. Thanks a lot, Jared. That's cool. Oh, cool. Get some lights. All right. Lights can make a difference, man. I mean, these are just cheap lights, the ones that I bought that go with I bought them to, you know, so I could have better lighting in here for the green screen. And, you know, it's just a tiny little investment like that can make a little bit of a difference, can't it? And yeah, Dylan, I have had a good day. Got up, like I said, I spent some time this morning with my friend and his wife and child in Chester, England. And then I went on a walk. You know, I went down to the dispensary. It's downtown Hayward from here, so it's just a little bit more than a half mile away. And but my sister accompanied me on the walk, so we had, you know, got to spend some quality time, you know, walking and chatting and that kind of thing. And then came back and imbibed and hung out. And then my dad, just because I didn't really want to do anything terribly special for dinner or anything like that, and there was nobody else really around, so it was just me and my dad and my sister. Anyway, so my dad went and got us McDonald's because I was like, let me go get me a Big Mac and fries. That's, you know, and a chocolate shake. So I had a Big Mac, fries, chocolate shake, and one of those apple pies. That was dinner. And then I came down here, listened to a bunch of music, and then now. And that's, you know, that has been most of the day. I think that's pretty much the whole day, actually. So it's been, you know, largely a chill day. And we're doing a little bit of brushing on the microphone. Brushing on the microphone. Let's see, I want to make sure I keep up with the comments and stuff. When did I first experience ASMR? I can't tell you when the first time I did. I mean, I can't remember a point in time in my life when I didn't have ASMR. So I'm trying to think what would be my earliest memory of ASMR. Man, I'm not even sure what to say. I remember getting ASMR from my great aunt, kind of half singing lullabies to me when I was a small kid, like toddler age. I suppose that would be my first memories of it, would be my great aunt doing a lullaby kind of thing. And because she would kind of half sing, really soft singing at whisper, because she didn't really have that great of a singing voice, but she was really well intentioned by it, so she'd sing really, really softly, you know. And so that's I think that's probably my earliest memories of it. But as far as I know, I've always had ASMR. Okay, hang on a second. Well, kindergarten, that's a very early one. That's the one that you know, from my teacher. That was very impactful. But, well, thanks for stopping by, Quan. I'm glad. Yeah, and I'll be back here on Saturday, of course. Role play, you know, I don't know. People have asked me that before, I don't know. I've just not been. I mean, I guess I did sort of a role play in that thing when I did with ER, but I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I mean, I suppose I should just because people have asked about it. So I might as well give it a go. Um, Wait a minute. So just get a. Thanks, Rob. Single digit 80s. Yeah. Right. How many people are on here? 35 people are on here now. It says. All right. That's cool. Oh, actually, well, the other thing says 37. Why do they get two different numbers? Because there's two different spots where they say concurrent viewers, and it's like, how do you give me different numbers, YouTube? It's your stinking system. I don't know. Well, anyway, they do what they do, and that is what it is. Yeah. Although you got to be careful with the munchies there, Benjamin, because uh, I've gotten well. I don't know. You're not as old as I am because I'm not that much younger than your dad. Uh, but I can't eat sugar like I used to, man. If I do, it really does it gets my gut, and I go, oh man. But man, so I have to watch the munchies because man, I can really get my stomach upset if I lose my impulse control, which I do if I get if I'm a little bit too stoned. It's like I can't figure out how to stop eating candy. You know what I mean? It's just yikes. Anyway, here, let me see what I'm saying here. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Dylan. I just play around with the lights and see what seems to work. You know what I mean? It's like, but I think that's kind of half the fun. You know what I mean? Because I'm not here trying to do Hollywood level productions, man. You know, I'm doing a thing that I think is cool to do and to look at, and hopefully it's something that you guys can connect with, and so I can make decent ASMR and we can interact, and that's kind of really what I'm more interested in. My whole view on art and all of it is humans making things for other humans, man. That's like if we aren't existing as the head in the vat sort of mind experiment, if the world is actually somehow similar enough to the way we experience it that makes sense, then we're all we have, what I mean, as far as with each other. It's like, man, we should, is there a link to my OnlyFans channel? Man, MSC, oh man, okay. um for me, Venomix, the ASMR and smoking thing is hit and miss. Sometimes it seems to like I kind of gets it, so I can get relaxed, but no ASMR, and then other times it seems like it accentuates it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of hit and miss with me. Okay, so we're looking at some lights now. Well, Dylan, what I did is, well, I get those gray sheets. I just hang stuff up, and then of course I got the green screen or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you just have to play around. Okay, hang on, Pavel, how's it going? Thanks, Pavel. Oh, I was like, HPD, what is that? Oh, but I just, happy birthday. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Ash. That's fantastic. Thank you. Anyway, so now I'm going to do a little bit of brushing again. Just because, I might as well make some sort of. I don't know. Hang on. Give me a sec. I have to put on my other glasses and I can read the label. These are my computer glasses. They're only good for the distance of my face to the computer screen. And the only actual reading glasses I have now are my bifocals, see, which are these, which actually fit better in the whole thing. But to be able to use them at the computer, I have to go like this. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. Okay, so let's see. What does this say? I can't. Where does it say on that? Okay, here we go. What does it say? We go. All right, it doesn't really give me any specific. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it does. Okay, so it's called lemon cherry gelato. It's an indica. There we go. So, yeah, that's what I had this morning. Or not this morning, but earlier this afternoon. This morning, God, that would have been. No, if I did. Anyway, so there we go. You know what I'm going to do, just for, because I enjoy it, is let's do this one because I like this sound. And, you know, I don't know what is normal, so I can't answer that. You know, NSC, no, I don't. The whole in the couch thing, um, it doesn't, I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really notice that much of a different kind of anything going on from strain to strain. I mean, there's, you know, maybe some subtle differences or something, and of course, subtle differences in flavor and stuff. But my olfactory sense, my sense of smell, I think it's probably from years of heavy smoking. It doesn't work so well. So, you know, a lot of it I just miss out on. You know. Oopsie daisy. I feel like I can do that so much better with my right hand, probably again because it's my right hand, right? Okay, let's take a break from that for a minute. And let's leave that there, I guess. I'm not sure. I think there's some more stuff coming in here. Let's make sure I get back here. Yeah, you know, I probably will after this, Benjamin, most certainly, because you know I'll probably be up till a little bit after 10. So yeah, after this I'll be finished this because there's a couple of things I want to finish up around here, and then I'm want to go to bed at a decent hour tonight, and so yeah, that's why tonight's only an hour. Anyway, okay, cool. Getting pen tablet, nice. A year entirely alone or a year without a home? Interesting question. See, because I could imagine a couple of ways where I could go either way, depending on the circumstances, right? I'm generally okay in solitude, although even in solitude, I've still had interaction with other humans. You know, I mean, there's times I've gone several days without interacting with anybody in any way whatsoever. Um, but that's different than it being completely alone for a year. That'd be a whole different ball of wax, right? Um, and so I don't know. I don't know. But then to be without a home, my only thing about being not in a home is just depending on where I'm at with the exposure to the elements. You know what I mean? So I don't know how well I would do if I was stuck outside. You know, I'm afraid that I might just be essentially a pussy about it. You know. So I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that. And I think I might rather have shelter and maybe have to be alone for a year. I mean, as long as I could, have access to, the stuff I needed, even though I didn't have human contact, if I could have, like food and water and all that kind of stuff. I think I'd have to pick that I would be alone. But, I don't know. That might be one of those choices you make and then you regret, The good news is I have had no experience of anybody actually giving me any of those kind of weird choices. So, anyway. I have to drink water. My mouth is a bit dry. I wonder why. Oh, and just for a teaser, tomorrow's video is already uploaded. I uploaded it yesterday because I wanted to be able to make sure I had today off, so I didn't have to do anything. Anyway, so it's up, and it's a geography one, and it's long. It's like 2 hours long, so. And I did cut some stuff out of it, but yeah, most of it made it through fine, but yeah. Okay, MSC, lay it on me. Soylent Green is people. Yeah, that's a disturbing, man, I remember the first time I saw that movie, I was a young guy. Man, I'm thinking I might have been like 10 or something like that, maybe even younger than that. Because when did that come out? That's like early 70s, isn't it? So I was like, I don't know. Holy mackerel. Or maybe it even came out before then, and maybe it was just I saw it in the early 70s. In any case. Oh, hey, Jack. Okay, let me read the thing here. I'm glad I could help you get to sleep, man. And thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. That's really nice. Okay, gang, we all know what that means. So, everybody, 3 cheers for Jack. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip, hooray. And the crowd goes, ah. Thanks again, Jack. Would I rather never eat my favorite food for the rest of your life or only eat your favorite food for the rest of your life? So there's the thing. If you did only eating it, it would quickly become not your favorite food, wouldn't it? So, I mean, so assuming that's like you make the choice once and you're just stuck with it, of course. But I think I'd have to say never eating my favorite food for the rest of my life, because then at least I'd have some variety, Because that's the thing, man. I mean, well, I do eat peanut butter and jelly, although I haven't been eating it every day lately, just because I started getting a little spongy, and peanut butter is pretty high in calories, so I've been trying to be a little bit more, I'm not as young as I once was, so Oh, hey, cool. Well, thanks for coming by. Is that Goadzilla? Goadzilla 1? Thanks for finding me and showing up. Well, that's fine, Jack. Thanks for. Well, I'm glad you came in, and I'm glad you found me, and I'm glad I could be of any kind of assistance to you. And I'm doing fine, Goadzilla. Okay, so now what do I want to do? I think, I found, what I did? I found a couple of new things to crinkle. This is, one of them is the bag that the green suit came in. And don't know what the other one's for. But anyway, so it's 2 different mills of plastic bags. So I just thought they might make some interesting crinkle noises. Let's see, Godzilla, I started this when my sister turned 40, so 17 years. Had the beard for 17 years. Golly. It's almost a whole adult person. All right, I know how much you like the crinkling. I'll come back to this, but here, just so you can see. Then I also found this, which is a much heavier bag. This is the one that the green suit came in. Well, it came in 2 different ones. There's one that it's still, I can't keep it and just keep the whole set together. But I got 2 green suits, right? One's the total, where you can't take it apart, where it's like if you put it on, your whole body's in the green suit. And the other one is the one with the removable head, which is what you usually see me in. Anyway, this had both of the other packs in it, so that's why it's like it says something like, this is a set, do not, can you make that out? This is a set, do not separate. They both came in here, but it's a little bit heavier. Give up dabs or flower. I would give up dabs because I don't do them that often. I don't own a rig, so I've only ever done it like when I'm with somebody who has a rig. So hey, the Billy Green, I'm glad you like the sound. Okay, I'm going to go back and forth between that one and this one because I like them both. But well, dabs can certainly be super effective, I'll give you that. It didn't know you existed, right? That's funny. That's funny, MSC. I could see how that could happen, though, man. Oh, man. I don't know about the arms and legs one, man. I think I'd rather have longer arms because I'd still be able to play guitar, I think. heavier bag for a little bit. Well, there's the thing, Godzilla. Whenever you do an edible, well, of any form, but so certainly concentration is going to matter. But the THC gets processed by your liver when you eat it differently, and it turns it into a different chemical that actually interacts with your brain differently. And for some people, it can be quite an intense difference as far as the quality of high. Like for me, I'm the same way. But when it comes to edibles, like when it comes to smoking, I tend to try to smoke infrequently enough that I stay a lightweight. But when it comes to edibles, it's like I have to eat, and it's like I don't get much of effect. I don't get much of an effect, and then all of a sudden, boingo. You know what I mean? So it's either like next to nothing, and it's not worth fucking spending the money on, or it's like, wow, okay now. But so if I do it, I have to realize that I'm actually going to go do it. You know. But yeah, I find it to be in some ways, it's well, it's a more intense high in some ways, right? Yeah, but does a straw have one hole or two? From a topological sense, from math, one. Hey, Bushwhacker. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, I think I'm going to go back and do some more of the chopstick and jar noise, just because I like it. Can you guys hear that fly? Come on, you spiders. What do you think I let you live in here for? I really don't like buzzing bugs. If they wouldn't buzz and they'd stay out of my food, I probably wouldn't mind it, you know what I mean? But bugs tend to buzz and they tend to get in my food, so I don't want them, you know? Spiders, on the other hand, keep me free of bugs, so I like spiders. Okay, hang on a second here. I'm getting... Well, thanks, nobody. You know, I have seen the Chappelle Show. I don't think I recognize that thing, but Man, the first one that comes to mind is that one dude, the blind guy that didn't know he was black. That was a hilarious skit, man. And all, of course, all the stuff with Eddie Murphy's brother, and then like the Rick James skit and stuff like that. And I guess multiple skits with Rick James, or him being Rick James, wasn't it? But man, it was so long ago. But yeah, I used to watch his show now and again. Um, in person, like never. I've only met one person in person that's ever even seen my channel, and they said they liked my videos and they enjoyed my stuff, but they never said anything about getting tingles or ASMR or anything like that. So I mean, I assumed that they did just because, but I don't know. Guess Spider, yeah, right on. What's the thing solo? Dude, of course, man. Have a great trip. You know? I mean, I'm only going to be on here for like 16 more minutes, but, hopefully that's enough so you can kind of just chill and get a good vibe, you know? And, dig the chat. The chat is, good-natured and friendly and all of that. Everybody here is like here to be your pal, man. We're all here to be friends. That's funny, MSC. So black you call him darkness. Yeah, no, Charlie Murphy was fucking hilarious, wasn't he? There was something about him that I liked that was a little like rougher around the edges than his brother. You know what I mean? That I thought was I kind of thought it. I don't know. I dug it. I really dug it. But there's something about him that just like you just knew the kind of guy he was. You know what I mean? And it's just like I'd have I would have loved to have been able to hang out with him as a human being and just sort of be able to tell each other stupid stories about stuff. Well, why are we here on the Wednesday? It's, well, if you haven't figured it out. Yeah, you're right, Godzilla. You're right. Yeah, there's something that seemed like, yeah, Eddie seemed to have that like real need that he be the center of attention, whereas Charlie seemed to be a lot more sort of like, yeah, grounded and kind of just confident in himself. That I found very appealing. But Eddie is a genius. That's certainly true, and it was probably driven by his need for the attention, or still is, I suppose. Um, but I mean, he's clearly, I think in some ways he's a bigger, impactful genius than Charlie. But there's just some stuff about Charlie that I just found really appealing. Thanks, TJ. Do I like spicy Asian food? Yes, I do. However, when it comes to spice, like capsaicin spice, I am an absolute wimp. And so I have to be careful about it. Like I used to have a really, really close friend when I was in San Diego. We parted ways mostly because I was a screwed up drunk, and I guess she just got sick of being friends with a screwed up drunk. Anyway, um, she was very much into Thai food, and she'd actually spent some time in Thailand, and so she took me to a couple of different Thai restaurants, and said, "Here, let me order." But she was always very careful about, okay, you should try a little bit of that, but only a little bit because it's going to blow your mind. But yeah, because she understood that I was kind of a wimp when it came to all of that. And oh my goodness, Silas, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's like yay for me, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, well, we all know how that means, gang, so we're going to go again here. So, 3 cheers, everybody, for Silas the Great. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip, hooray. And the crowd goes. Thanks again, Silas. I really appreciate it. Okay, hang on a second. So maybe some other time because we're short on time. But oh, it was number theory, and it was. It wasn't precisely. It was limiting, but it wasn't limiting that stuff couldn't be taught. It was limiting how it could be taught, if that makes sense. You know. Yeah, it was the whole thing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so I guess yeah, it's limiting what could be taught, but it was just. I mean, the tools, the basic minimum information was there, right? So you could take it upon yourself to pursue the study to understand exactly what they didn't want you to study. The National Security Advisory or whatever it is they call the NSA, yeah, because that's where the whole motivation for that crap came. At least that's my understanding of it. But of course, it's a long time ago, so there might be some stuff I'm forgetting. But, oh yeah, Silas, I partook of cannabis earlier today, so it's probably has my throat a little bit hoop-de-doop-de-doop. And I'm probably also not just being, having the smoke aspect of it, but when I smoke, I tend to get a way more sort of just, ooh, you know what I mean? So I'm sure my vocal cords are a lot more just sort of loose in general, so a little bit more rattly. But also, I think my throat's a little dry too. And of course, a dry throat will absolutely affect the timbre of your voice. So, thanks, Rambler. Yeah, it came up in the recent live streams, and at first I wasn't sure I was going to do it, and then I thought, I should do it just because it's fun hanging out with you guys, and Saturday nights has kind of turned into like my social highlight of the weekend, to be honest. So I figured, I might as well hang out with my gang, for another night. For why not? Yeah. What was I doing? I guess I was doing the jar with the chopstick, wasn't I? Well, even if I wasn't, I'm going to go back to doing that. Yeah, I'll be here Saturday night. I'm not sacrificing a Saturday night. I mean, there's some things I want to keep regardless of whatever. Like, so I've decided I'm going to keep Mind Test Mondays every other Monday, right? Which is why I did the Mind Test Live on a Monday between two regular ones, right? Because I didn't want to sacrifice one for that. And the same thing with like the live streams. Like I've committed that until further notice, every Saturday night at 8 is going to be a live stream. You know what I mean? That's just going to be, it's what I want to do. Here, my eyes are getting kind of itchy, probably again from getting dried out. Yeah. Let me see if I can make this stuff out better. Thanks, Benjamin. Any good conspiracy theories you're into? I found certain conspiracy theories kind of interesting, but I don't know that there's any that I'm really that I'm into. I mean, the ones that I find kind of the most amusing or kind of intriguing to consider is all the weird stuff about like the Anunnaki, the whole aliens having an influence on us, from like they visited us thousands and thousands of years ago, and then maybe, fiddled around with us and, as far as breeding programs or some kind of crap, and then left or something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's no real, that I understand anyway, evidence that supports that in any meaningful way, but I think it's a fun thing to consider, Donald Trump, I don't like Donald Trump. I don't want to think about him. Okay, I guess it was retracted. Fine. Yikes. I don't know. What's another good conspiracy theory? There he goes. He's cracking up now. God, I'm trying to think. There's got to be another kind of. When I was a kid, my dad got fascinated with that. What's that guy, Von Donnegut or something like that? You know, he's one of those guys that's into the alien spacemen, kind of thing. And my dad, he had one of those books, and um, I don't know. I don't know that he bought into it so much, but he just found it to be kind of an interesting idea. Um, so that I also remember that, and that kind of plays into the thing I was just talking about. All that stuff I find kind of interesting, but I don't know. Yeah, I know some people get into conspiracy theories just because, well, like I just mentioned, it's kind of an amusing thing to kind of, as a curiosity to, kind of screw around with as in your imagination. But man, some people just, they really take it to the degree of, some kind of, well, I don't know, like it's part of their world modeling stuff or whatever. Yeah, cryptid conspiracies are always very interesting. Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's son theory is her favorite. Oh yeah, I think I haven't heard much about that one. I did hear about that from somebody though. I don't even know how that was supposed to work out, to be honest. But right, yeah. Well, there's also the Godzilla. Those ones about the oh, what do they call those lines in? I guess it's what, like Chile and Argentina or Peru or something. What are there's some big plain down there. I can't remember exactly where it is. And there's those weird lines that you can only really make out what they are if you're really high up in the air. And so it's like all these people that theorize that, you know, that it had to be done with the assistance of aliens. And it's like, I don't know, maybe they actually figured out how to do a hot air balloon, and then the technology was lost, or the evidence destroyed, or I don't know. Nazca, Peru, right? Thank you, MSC. Yeah, the whole flat Earth thing, that just annoys me. Excuse me. Oh yeah, Roswell has to do with the Roswell, New Mexico thing. That's where that one alien thing was supposed to have crash landed. But man, the thing I find frustrating about the flat Earth thing is that there's a really simple, direct answer as to why it's BS, and it's like why we've known about it for millennia, and we know we've known about it for millennia because of sailors. Why do you think that there's the Mercator projection for a map? Is because you can't do plotting of of doing courses around the globe if the model is a flat model. It doesn't work. The Earth has to be round for those courses to work properly. It's like, come on, man. Ah. Anyway, I get very frustrated with that. I do think there's some truth to the Bermuda Triangle, but I don't think it's aliens or magic. I think it's rogue waves. Because they've been measuring that there's been a tremendous number of rogue waves out there in that part of the world. And they just seem to come in out of the blue and get really, really tall really quick, and then boink, and then they just disappear. So, a double tetrahedron. Oh, man. Just an unexplained. Yeah, I think that's a better description of it, MSC. I think you're right as far as the um, Bermuda Triangle. But I certainly don't think it's aliens or any such thing like that. Or some, porthole to, the hidden dimension or something like that. And I'm not buying any of that kind of stuff. I mean, certainly weird things could come into existence. And if somebody can show me decent evidence, I'll, say, okay, I was wrong. But, I'm not going to just believe something because somebody suggested it was a possibility, Okay, what do we got here? It depends on how high they up are off the ground. I mean, some of those flights and the stuff aren't, because those rogue waves get like over 100 feet tall, man. Oh yeah, that flight that disappeared 10 years ago, that was a real strange one, wasn't it? How you get to the nether, right? Yeah, I mean, I like the whole, other dimension door thing, especially because it, is a good, well, it's great for sci-fi stories and stuff like that, isn't it? You know, and one of the great things about sci-fi is it lets us create universes that are fictional universes, and you can explore all kinds of things through literature, that, that you have the safety to do without, worrying about the repercussions in the real world, right? Because you're not talking about anything that could actually be existing, right? So you could talk about, political issues or, social issues and stuff, with a safe distance, you know. I can't give you an explanation for why the pyramid or how the pyramids got built, but again, I don't think it was aliens. I mean, just because we don't have a good question, or excuse me, a good answer for why, how it got done, that's not supporting, that doesn't support aliens. It just doesn't. Yeah, the DB Cooper thing is crazy. To be honest, it would amuse me if in fact he got away with it completely. You know what I mean? Just because it makes for an entertaining narrative. But what do I think about chemtrails? I don't think anything about chemtrails. I think that's nonsense. Oops, we're inside of a minute. So does anybody have any last minute stuff before the sign off occurs? Thanks, Benjamin. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Oh, wow. Thanks, Tom Servo. I appreciate it. And yeah, the moon is made as cheese, right? That's great. All right. Right. Okay, gang. I'm going to call that a night. I'm really, really glad all of you guys showed off. And for those of you, thanks so much for your generosity. And yeah, again, happy birthday to me. Thanks for showing up, gang. And I'll see all you guys on Saturday, right? Anyway, aloha, siblings.